All right, shalom. Just wanted to do a quick little lesson called "Why Do We Use Herbs?" Um, within the last, say, last 4 months, 4 to 6 months, or somewhere in that area, so some brothers a little longer. The Spirit has had us, going into different herbs and different types of healing, different, changing up the diet, making sure you're eating the right things, the best of the worst, so to speak, and basically just to keep your body as as healthy as possible. And the reason why I call it "Why Do We Use Herbs?" is because when you go back to the beginning, you know, the herbs that are in the earth today that are used for healing, such as dandelion root, um, golden seal, um, red clover, different types of minerals and vitamins, uh, you know, such as um, um, you have like vitamin E, chlorella, spirulina, different minerals and vitamins and herbs that we use today, for healing, because you have black walnut, and other different types of herbs out there that are for healing. And the reason why we have to use those today is just for that reason, for healing. Why? Because our bodies are broken down. But from the beginning, when the Most High first created Adam, and the Adamites, in the beginning, it wasn't so. So we're going to go through a few scriptures just to show you that, show you the reason why we have to use these herbs today, because our bodies are breaking down. Uh, Going back to the curse that was put upon Adam, and based on this Frankenstein Esau, these bankers, these international bankers, the so-called white men, how they have put together these genetically manipulated organisms, or genetically modified organisms, GMOs, and um, the different corruption that he has put in the food, and the pollution that he's put in the air, and all these things are basically breaking down your immune system, which is already weak because it doesn't have the essential minerals, vitamins, and nutrients that it needs to heal itself, because the body heals itself if you feed it the right things. So we're going to start here in the book of Genesis, the first chapter, in the 11th verse. It says, "And the power said, Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, and the herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And the power saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day." Now it's telling you that it brought grass and the herb yielding seed, because the fruit that you have today is supposed to have seeds in it, or fruit in general is supposed to have seeds in it. Your vegetables and all that, majority of all that stuff has, well, they all have seeds in it, but today, this devil, this Frankenstein, he's taking all the seeds out of it. That's why when you eat it, it doesn't yield or bring forth the right amount of nutrient, because it's altered, by this devil. Now, the word herb here, which is something that was in the earth, there were certain herbs that were just like for food, that bring nutrients into your body. But then you also had other herbs for healing. So let's look at this word herb real quick. Here in the book of Genesis 1 and 12. And the word for herb here is Aishab. Okay, Aishab, which means herb, herbage, grass, green plants. These are the things that you're supposed to be eating also. I mean, you could eat meat as long as it's lawful meat according to the scriptures, but the majority of your plate should be greens or vegetables or something like to that effect. You should have at least 70% of your plate should be greens and vegetables, and then maybe like 30% of your plate should be acidic, whether it be meats or some type of starch. Preferably whatever starch it be, sweet potatoes or brown rice or something like that, that's not, that white rice and stuff, you know, that other crap. So there's herbage, grass, green plants, green herbs, full grown and in seed, herbs for the food of man, from the same stock or perhaps herba. So basically, it's these herbs are for the food of man. You know. Now you had certain herbs, which is the same Hebrew word is used for both. You had certain herbs that were for healing, and certain herbs that were for fruit or for food. And in the beginning, that's what it was supposed to be. They were supposed to be for food. All right. So now let's go from there, and let's jump down to the 26th verse. It says, "And the power said, Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." Meaning you're supposed to know what animals are clean, what animals are unclean. You rule over the animals. All right. It says, "So the power created man in his own image, in the image of the power created he him. Male and female created he them, and the power blessed them, and the power said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. And the power said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat." So all those fruits and vegetables that you see out there, and certain plants, you know, you could eat. You know, like the instance of Ezra, when the prophet Ezra was fasting, what did the Lord tell him to do after a certain period of time? He told him to eat the flowers of the grass, you know, because there's certain flowers out there that are edible, that are good nutrients that'll keep you going. All right. You know, it says, "And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth wherein there is life, I have given every herb for meat." And it was so. So even the animals, like cows and all that, they're supposed to eat grass. You know, and the majority of them do, except for when this devil gets his hands on them and he feeds them all type of crap, you know, candy and all type of junk that he feeds them, which throws their metabolism off, and basically those poisons go into the bloodstream and into the meat of that animal, and then when they kill it and slaughter it and put it, you know, package it up, and you get it, you know, when you eat it, you end up ingesting all that garbage that those animals ate, you know, whether it be pharmaceutical pills or whatever toxins or whatever are out there that they injected into them, antibiotics or whatever they ate, you know, you end up eating it. But they're really supposed to, as you see, they're supposed to eat the herbs and the grass. You know, that's what those animals are supposed to eat. It says, "And the power saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning was the 6th day." All right, so now what we're going to do is jump from here to the book of Genesis, same book, Genesis chapter 9. And start the first verse. The point is in verse 3. Genesis 9:1. "And the power blessed Noah and his sons." This is after the flood, you know, when the Most High caused the waters to reside from off the earth. It says, "And said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth." Same thing that the Most High told, or that the angels were speaking among themselves, dealing with man. "And upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea, into your hand are they delivered. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you. Even as a green herb have I given you all things." So basically, we're supposed to eat meat, but you're supposed to eat it in balance. You know, you're supposed to know the right balance to eat. You know, in your portion, like I said, 70% of your food or plate should be alkaline, which is your greens, your vegetables, and stuff like that, and 30% should be acidic, which is your meats and your starches. You know, but the majority of your plate should be greens and vegetables. All right. And then, you know, you should also eat your fruits too. All right. So it says, "Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, even as a green herb have I given you all things." So basically, from the beginning, you know, when you ate the herbs and stuff, that was just something that was for food. All right. But there were certain other herbs that were for healing. All right. So now let's jump from there to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 4, verse 9. And let's show you, you know, what in process of time what happened, you know, because, you know, we're going to jump back to Adam, but I just want to get you up to speed onto why we eat